Hello. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another thrilling adventure of me turning things to full screen and making sure I can see them properly because we're good at doing things right on time on this show. Yeah. Welcome back to Bloodwine.
Online stuff.
We're definitely not dealing with like constant minor setbacks on every single possible back-end thing because it's just an easy time right now.
It's just such an easy time. Why
for everybody.
Why wouldn't it be difficult to run a show?
Gosh.
Man. Jokes aside, it is kind of at least an okay for doing streaming time now because it's like, staying inside with existing hardware, continuing to do something like this.
Yeah.
That there's already standards for. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's mostly just kind of like sitting kind of lonely in your apartment and begrudgingly going, shit, I don't have the strength to carry beer home this week, you know?
Hey, Will, if you turn your head like 90 degrees and look out the window, it is looking like Silent Hill out there.
I have a narrow little... Oh, yeah, that's very spooky. That's quite spooky.
Terrifying.
Curtains closed.
It's very foggy.
Oh, yep.
So that's why the Silent Hill. Now I'm getting it.
Yeah. Man. You ever actually try to play one of those games? They're like very strange.
No, I tend to stay away from horror games.
The one I played, you go to a psychiatrist and the psychiatrist hands you like a children's coloring sheet and says, "Why don't you color in your childhood home?" And then you do, and of course you use silly colors, and then in all the flashbacks of your childhood home, it's like lime green and like really shittily colored in with crayon.
Yeah, I think I know that one.
Very immersive. Thank you.
I'm just broke, so most of my AAA gaming experiences are like watching people let's play through them, honestly.
Well, that was our experience too, because we used to do in high school Halloween parties where someone would just have that on in the background and we'd pass the controller around. It's really hard to follow when you haven't really been paying attention, and then someone hands you the controller and you have to run away from flesh babies, I think.
Yeah,
anyway.
I remember my first year of university. I bonded with all of my dorm mates because we sat around in one person's room with the lights out playing the original Slender game.
Oh,
because that was a popular thing when I started university.
Now, Chelsea,
that is
all babies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I completely lost that.
Yep.
That's okay. Man, the energy in this call right now is like
the highest it's ever been.
The highest it's ever been.
Yep.
Let's put some spooks and some narrative tension, please.
Well, yeah, let's get right to it then. It's been a little while since last we met. I'm kind of curious. What are your impressions of it? Well, let's do this a little bit in character. How would Reggie describe the events that transpired last game?
We're fucked.
We were fucked. All right. How about Henny?
Henny is still in sort of the what is happening? What the hell's going on? I guess we should try and make a big new plan now that there are all these new variables, but it's going to take a while to sort of sort them out in her brain space.
And what about Vesta? How would Vesta describe the recent experiences you've had?
There has been some complicated predicaments, and now we have had some serious setbacks, but we can move forward with a new plan.
Wow, that sounds like every company's statement right now.
Yeah.
So, to summarize, the party is being hunted by like a couple different people. They all kind of converged on the same location. They showed their hands in terms of having way more numbers than expected. Some allies showed up unexpectedly. Some strangers who turned out to be allies showed up unexpectedly. You guys escaped on a different boat, and your old one with Reggie's wagon and manuscripts and horses, and both of the heads was sent to the bottom of the sea. In terms of your hunt for life drinker heads, you're back at a nice, tasty 0.
And so is Reggie's project at normality. Progress towards normality.
Yeah. So, as you guys have sort of just been hoofing it to try and gain distance, there's a place that you've had in mind in particular. A safe house that one of your sort of really more of an acquaintance at this point, a mousefolk named John, says that you can go to. An abandoned warehouse that's good. It's a safe house. After getting down the road a little ways, trying not to be spotted, ditching the boat as soon as possible, and trying not to do it with any documentation this time, you guys have gone upriver and settled in an old logging warehouse that's long since been abandoned. Everything in here that would have been used for actual like machinery and labor has been taken out and moved. In here, really, it's just crates, barrels, and a lot of open space. As you guys creak open the door and head inside, it looks like if you move things around, like there's big wire spools and stuff like that you can tip over to make tables. And given that you guys are all used to the camping life, you've got everything you need with you to splay out on the floor nearby. Even if you didn't, after opening up some of the crates, you're shown that there's a whole bunch of just like spare lanterns, bedrolls, that kind of thing. You guys are in a big empty building way out in the middle of nowhere. Do you want to open up the map just to show how secluded you've become?
We are in the middle of nowhere.
Yay!
Woo!
Hooray.
Yeah, we are. Almost at the edge of the map. At least like 40 miles from the nearest hamlet off a disused road.
Yeah, like
it's a nice place to be.
To put in perspective, I will now go west. That is the edge of the map.
Yeah.
That is, yeah. This is the most westernly we've been.
As you guys look, you see that there's sort of like catwalks, like a mezzanine sort of around the edge. There's little like shuttered windows that can be opened. John shows you there's these little sort of like slats that you can just tip and stick a weapon through or peek through if you need to. Based on how things look walking around, this place is pretty defensible, and you could probably make it look abandoned if you needed to on short notice. So it's defensible, it's kind of isolated, and you guys probably want to wait for the heat to die down either way. Now seems like as good a place as any to sort of get back to zero, get anything sorted out that you need to, and sort of figure out where you're going to go from here. Because as of right now, all your previous plans, in spite of their apparent prior successes, have come undone.
Okay.
Okay, well, this is...
Time to go on the attack.
Well, not right just this minute.
No.
I don't think there are any around here, so going on the attack wouldn't really help all that much.
We should probably get this place a little spiffed up. Oh, boy.
Time to go on the attack.
You keep sort of saying this, but there's sort of a lot of elements that...
Yeah, but like we got to get the ball rolling to get on the attack.
We're getting the ball rolling. We're tying up loose ends.
Yeah, cutting off loose ends.
Oh, we're not even bothering trying to tie them at this point. No. They're gone.
No.
Yeah,
okay.
Don't worry, Henny. We'll burn those bridges when we come to it.
Oh, yeah. Right. That's not how it goes. Okay, well, I think that we should probably get some defenses going, just in case.
Okay.
Maybe some sort of tower of sorts through which we could watch.
Okay. We could call it Tower Watch.
Who are you, Will?
No, you see, the purpose of the tower would be to watch over things, so it would be more of an overwatch.
No, that...
As aforementioned, the balcony sort of mezzanine area, not balcony, that's the wrong word, around sort of the second floor of the warehouse, it's not really a floor, it's just kind of, so there's room for everything. From there, you can sort of peek through shutters and aim a weapon, so that's a place where you can keep watch without being noticed.
Okay, perfect.
Nice. Also, if we start building onto this place, it would be difficult to make it look like it's just some random old place if we had to leave quickly.
Oh, right. I'm talking about barricades on the inside. If they breach the door, we're going to want cover in here
Sure. Yeah.
to defend. So I'm gonna start moving some crates and some things into, sort of a defensible wall at the main exit, and then barricade the others.
Press is gonna make food.
All right. You guys start unpacking your things and settling into the location. Near the edge, it's all stone flooring because, well, I mean, it's a big empty warehouse. So it's easy enough for you to sort of start a little campfire away from anything flammable. And up top, there's an opening so that the smoke sort of drifts away. Excuse me. Looks like you're able to start getting some food together. As for Henny, with the help of your companions, you're able to get a bunch of the crates sort of stacked up into a defensible wall if the door were to be breached.
Perfect.
There is now nothing with which to make furniture here except for a single couch.
How big is the couch?
It's 1 Reggie or 2 anyone else.
I see.
Shouldn't we maybe put the defenses on the outside?
Well, we were just talking about that, because if we put them on the outside, then this place is obvious.
Okay, but we don't have any room in here. This is going to be a real depressing life if this is how we have to live.
It's a big building, eh? I'm assuming that we have room sort of on the sides of the door if we have a defensible wall in front of it.
At this point, Reggie, you want to roll Millet Tactics?
You bet I do.
Oh, the clicky clacks of skill.
Yeah. I was, let's see what we got there. That's an 8. Rolled 4 dice.
Ooh.
3 of them were 1s.
Oh, that's
Nice.
That's really bad.
Yeah. That was a real bad roll there.
Wow.
So, you saw the area as you were coming in. This place is sort of nestled on the edge of a hill, sort of halfway inside. There's a door that seems to lead into the hill itself. There's another one to the side. There's another one right beside the double doors, and it looks like one of the windows near the top of the hill is ready for sort of just pushing out or pulling and setting aside. Your first thought is, it's going to be hard to defend this place.
I mean, do we actually want to stay here? What are
At
the
least until we
benefits
have
of
a solid
staying?
plan.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere. That's what we need.
Then, I mean, do we try to defend this place, or do we try to just get out and instead prepare for getting out?
I think that's a better idea than trying to defend it. Just make it easy to escape.
Okay. It doesn't really matter if this place is obvious if they're tracking us to a specific location. It's provided that we're able to fight our way out or just simply run away before they notice us.
Okay.
I agree. Let's go that route.
Right. So what are you guys going to do with your barricade?
Break it down. Or, put it near, the entrance or the front. Or...
But that's what I've done, is put it near the entrance.
No, not, inside
on the
building.
outside.
Oh, on the outside.
I'm going to give you guys a minute to think about this.
Okay.
Well, I think that if we're just planning to run anyway, what's the point in even having a barricade?
So that we have shelter for running.
Yeah. We could set up traps.
Okay.
Break down the barricade, put up traps.
Yes, I think traps are a good idea. I like traps better than just...
Okay, let's set up traps then.
Okay, traps it is.
Non-existent will, I would like to roll mill tactics for placements. Let's... Okay, that was a bit of a better roll. Yeah. Okay, so that's 18 for that. So I'm going to set them in the perfect spot that will alert us for everything.
Okay.
And Will is aware of this.
Yep.
Will knows.
Invisible
knows
Will
this.
is aware of it. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Invisiwill.
Yeah.
Invisible.
Of course, using his GM powers, he's aware of everything that is currently happening in the game.
Can you drag like the little images on the top right or left and just put them in Will's place?
Like
Those guys, yeah. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
He's now Trunk and Elvira.
Okay. Trunk and
He's now me.
Oh, no.
Okay, Ken, now's your chance. You can make a rule. Quick.
Yes. All right. Cool. Drawing Cards Against Humanity card. You
sorry,
guys encounter a falcon with a cap on its head.
Sorry, no, you missed your chance.
Damn it.
Chance, it's Swift.
Blue and Corvo.
Mm.
I guess they didn't. Oh, it's me. Quick. I'm gonna roll for life drinking.
Nope. It's now Vesta's turn.
I am cool.
Roll for it.
I don't have to.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're
I'm
the
the GM.
okay. Vesta's now cool.
I'm now cool.
Or was that Chelsea's now cool?
I don't know.
Okay.
Both. Both of us.
The absolute panic attack that Gabe has now caused in this group. It's beautiful.
Red
Absolutely
Melbourne.
beautiful.
Okay.
Okay. I have a gun, not like some shitty flintlock, like an actual 9mm Glock.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool.
So you didn't even go for like a dragon pistol or whatever the fuck it's called?
No.
Ken, it's you.
Oh,
Ken,
fuck.
it's you,
You
Ken!
encounter all of this blood.
Oh God.
There's blood everywhere.
Oh.
Chelsea, what do you do with all the blood?
I'm dumping it in the river.
Oh, nice. This might be the dumbest idea that we've ever come up with.
Is that just random? Like the
Yeah, it's just random which one comes up. There's no order. Oh,
Okay.
well.
He's reclaimed his rightful throne.
All right, good. I can move this back.
So, as a confession of sorts, this is like 40 episodes in
Yeah.
to like this campaign, basically.
Yeah.
And ages back, like very, very shortly in, I was sort of the realization, like, we're live. I should just it's only for a few hours. Just make sure I take a piss right before and wait. But the thing is, every single time I've done it on stream, I leave and it's quiet and I can think and plot. And every single time, it's basically the same thing. As I'm going to put the headphones back on, I hear something along the lines of like, this is the dumbest idea we've ever come up with. And it works out for the content. So,
I mean, it
give me
does.
what you got.
Okay, so Vesta's really cool now, and I have a gun, and
Yeah.
not like some shitty flintlock. Like I have like a 9mm police standard issue Glock.
Also, there's a lot of blood in the
Glock.
river.
Yeah. And a falcon with a cap on its head.
And yeah,
Reggie now has a falcon with a cap on its head. That is the conclusion that we've come to.
Just the new aesthetic, or like,
The cap is actually the exact same hat as Reggie's.
it's a tiny falcon hat.
It's just a tiny
Yeah.
falcon head that goes over its eyes. But it has the same like feather in it.
but in all seriousness, we're gonna make some traps. We've decided no barricade traps.
Oh yes, and then yes, and
Yeah.
Ken is your name.
Yes.
You rolled.
Yeah, I rolled Militactic and got an 18 on Militactic for placement of traps.
All right. So, to do that, you're going to need to go out on sort of like arranging around the area, basically.
Mhm.
That you're going to need to do with some of your allies. In terms of the traps themselves, if they're alchemical or ritual in nature, then that's something that Vesta's going to need to take the time to sit and concoct.
Oh, we
And
need
if
some
Henny wants to do
wild
anything-
bombs.
I am absolutely sure that Henny is going off on that ranging expedition for the sake of just easing paranoia, but that's just my guess.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because the alternative is Henny paces around panicking.
On an out-of-game level, does anybody want to take notes for the sake of remembering things?
I have a pencil and paper. I'm a good boy. Pick me, GM.
All right, I want to tell you the current roster of people that you have at your disposal. There's a lot of people with you, and realistically, you're not going to stay as this big roving mob like a mercenary group that just makes you more obvious than anything. You're going to have to split up down the line. Yeah. And this is a diverse group of people with a diverse skill set that are at your disposal. So I'll give you sort of just a title for each of them.
We have a very
unless, of course,
you skills. We will find you, and we will cut your head off.
And then we will have our boat blown up.
And then we will lose it.
And then you will escape.
You will escape.
But we'll come back. We'll come back.
Here's to my disappointment in you.
Oh, when you first grabbed that bottle, I thought you were just going to smash it.
Yeah.
I was very frightened.
Just casually picking up some sugar glass for... Could you imagine if you did all that for a bit? You brought like sugar glass just for a... But it's over the internet, over stream, and it just loses frames at just the wrong time, and it's lost forever. There's just sort of a blur.
Oh, that'd be rough.
A crashing sound, and then like someone going, "Ah, dude, what the fuck?" And then that's about it.
Yeah. And then cleaning things up sadly afterwards.
That makes me think those people that smashed our car window, I hope they did it for like a fun Vine or something.
Yeah, true. You might be able to find them on Vine.
Would that make it forgivable if it was for the Vine?
If it was...
It would make it... Because currently it seems like they did it for like crimes.
So you don't want it done for the crime, you want it done for the Vine.
For the Vine.
For Vine, not crime.
Yeah, no, like if I'm going to rob a bank, I'd rather be doing it as like a funny video rather than just for financial. Like I do get the money afterwards, but
you also get the money from the advertisers on Vine.
Yeah, if you're gonna do something stupid, you might as well like get all the stupid out in one go.
Yeah, you might as well film it and then show everybody on the internet.
Yeah,
because that's a great idea.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful idea.
Anyhow, you guys have a lot of people at your disposal, and you guys are yourselves competent people in your own, your own skill sets.
Yes.
You have Elbjorn with you, good old-fashioned fighty type. Trunk and Elmira are good fighters as well. Absolution. You have Bea, Tiffany, and Edelwald, who are merchants and supply chain people who can help you out. There's two people who you hadn't met before now who had come in here. You just know them by their nicknames for now. One of them's Gunner, who makes guns. The other one's Sniper, who snipes. Otherwise, you guys have Milton. You have John, who you've only met briefly before, but he makes explosives just like Henny. Bit of a criminal background.
Oh, yeah.
You've got Rollins. You've got Corvo. Basically, a bunch of the friends that you've made along the way have all kind of come back here into this warehouse on this single occasion for you guys to kind of reform your team, so to speak. Or should I say teams? Do you guys think you're going to split up?
I think that we probably should split up. Oh my god, it's foggy out there. But yeah, it's just yeah,
I think we should split up too. I think that's just the best thing for a group to be doing.
God, I wish I was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Reggie is, so,
Yeah. I think we should split up because we're going to do a big plan, and I think this plan is going to have several components, and also will be harder to find if we split up.
You're not wrong.
All right. So, as you guys are thinking about splitting up, why don't you go off and do your various errands, searches, and preparations for the traps you mentioned before?
I'll do some ritual stuff.
All right, want to give me a roll?
What is my ritual? Thank you.
No problem.
Those are some clunks. Not just clacks, but clunks.
Do you still have the, do you still have the pill vial with the infected dye?
Oh, do I? It's right behind me, actually.
Nice.
Ooh.
It does seem like a fitting set of dice to use right now.
Ritual stuff.
Did you say a 16?
Yes.
All right, a 16. So you wander around, you sort of set up wards and guards, your standard sort of fare around the camp to try and divert people's attention away. You should know when it gets broken.
Okay.
What's Henny up to?
Oh, Henny is trying not to go crazy. Sort of out for a walk. Just mind racing, you know.
Out for a rip, are you?
Out for a rip, are we, bud? Not quite sure of anything. Not really doing anything productive. Just wandering, thinking, trying to get everything straight. Nothing productive is being done here.
All right. So, Henny, you sort of wander in the nearby forests to try and get the lay of the land, or at least that's probably an excuse as you wander off, really just to kind of clear your head. What's Reggie up to?
Reggie would probably be traveling with... Who was the guy who got Leland's knife?
Oh, who was the guy who got Leland's
Johnstone?
knife? Yes.
Yeah. He'd probably be doing a trip with Johnstone because Johnstone seems like the type to be able to handle a foresty area and stuff like that. And marking off military like locations where a force could move and like basically being like, do a trap there, do a trap there, do a trap there.
All right. You guys make your way around and sort of take a look at the things around you. This was, I think you rolled an 18 way back. All right. So the three of you walk up a path and kind of split off around the nearby warehouse area. So Vesta, you're doing a ward, so it's really just a big circle, even if that means sort of like going through the bush a little bit. So you're sort of clambering your way through, and this is actually sort of, this place must have been abandoned for a decent amount of time, because even though this was a sawmill and it was probably cleared out, a lot of this stuff is regrown. There's actually a lot of undergrowth that you could probably use for alchemy materials. As you sort of continue your walk around, you note that it really is just kind of thick bush through the entire back section. It slows you down a decent bit. As for Henny, because you're trying to clear your mind, you're probably not forging right into a bunch of brush. So you find what seems like a trail and start to follow. Before too long, it gets overgrown. Roll science.
Oh, okay. That is a 20.
I hate those dice.
You got them for me.
I know.
Would you like to hold the
Wanna
dice
hold
up
it?
to the camera so we can all see how
yeah,
disgusting
sure.
they are and amazing?
They are pretty cursed.
They're nasty dice.
Nice.
They, you know, like sort of pustules.
They're squishy too.
Yeah, the pustules are squishy.
I got them. It's
It's-
like let me find the nastiest dice I can find.
And it paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're pretty... Like, why do I feel like those were at the bottom of, like, a big Rubbermaid bin full of toys dating all the way back to, like, the early 90s? And they're part of a bigger game or set or toy, and this is all that's left. Like,
Yeah,
the
a game
plastic
that's
just
been
has
lost
that
to time.
If
feel.
people hear you referring to Warhammer 40k as a game lost to time, I think they're going to be pretty upset with you.
Look, no one plays Warhammer 40k. Everyone plays the original Warhammer fantasy game now. Come on.
Oh,
At
man.
Ken,
Don't at
not
me.
me.
Don't at me. Because I don't exist on
Speaking-
Twitter. Adding me will do nothing.
Speaking of fantasy, so...
Oh, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, with your science roll, you determined these are probably trails made by like larger game, stuff like wild boar, deer, that kind of thing, charging around the area. You eventually realize that it's actually just leading you deeper into the woods, and then you find a little clearing, you make your way through, you reach another one. It's one of those things where like you think you're halfway through a walk, and then your walk just kind of ends, and then you begrudgingly turn around and head back. Reggie. So you're making your way through with Johnstone, who, much like Vesta, is just sort of going through brush. he sort of does it a little ways before going, okay, and then coming back to the trail. You're taking a decent bit of time as you're walking along. Similar thing like the pig runs and sort of game trails, that kind of thing. It looks like really this like warehouse is the only thing left in this area, and there really isn't anything else at all. There's no like tracks, there's no roads, there's no paths, just kind of divots and overgrown sections that might have been roads ages back.
How is this warehouse even here? Like,
you guys came here through what basically is a navigable hike, I would say. It used to be a road, but since this thing's disused and it's at the end of a long road, it's just the road's made of dirt, it's gotten washed out, rolled over, overgrown, and it kind of just merged with the forest a little bit.
Mm.
You guys are miles from anything else. And it's at the mouth of a river, so you could ship the logs downriver too.
okay.
As you make your way around, you basically discern like the only way to come at you guys is through the brush or head on. And if you come through the brush, you're going to take ages to do it. And even then, the area around the warehouse, it's sort of like it gets lower down and then flattened because of sort of just old pavers covering the area. But so really, as long as you stay along those mezzanines, you should be able to fire at targets. That being said, they're going to come at you quickly. If you wanted to, you could probably spend some coming time to like beat out some sort of like trails to run around if you guys want patrols, but otherwise it's basically just forest and forest and forest. It's at that point that you bump into Vesta around halfway through.
How's it been going?
Good. Continues doing wards and stuff.
You just nod, you give this thumbs up, and you keep walking.
And Reggie just goes, "Oh, okay then, moving on."
So, Henny, you come out of the mouth of that long sequence of pig runs and brush, and you've got sort of like leaves sticking out of your fur here and there, and you pick a twig out from your clothes, and you're kind of just sticking your hands in your pockets and shuffling down it's not even a main drag, it's kind of just a walkable area leading up to the warehouse. And on either side, you see the same thing happen as first Reggie from the direction Vesta left in, and Vesta in the direction Reggie left in, and Johnstone behind Reggie kind of crashing out of the brush and picking things out, and you're reunited.
So do you guys have any idea what to do next? Have you found any good spots for putting traps, or good alchemy for making traps, or...
Isn't that what we were just doing?
Yeah. Yes.
That is, in fact, what we were just doing.
I put some boards up. I'm pretty sure Reggie put some traps down.
Well, no, I just found good spots for traps.
Okay.
Okay, great. Well, let's get some traps so that then I can stop feeling so anxious, because we could just be attacked at any time. Like at any moment, they could burst from the trees or from underground, or God, I don't even know.
As history would tell us, that can happen anytime. It doesn't have to be here.
Right, but as long as
now we actually have wards up.
I suppose. You're right. I get anxious when we're not actively moving.
So as you guys get back to the warehouse, you kind of give it a once around. Since you're talking about traps, you walk sort of the big front area around back. It's narrow just behind there, and then a bit more clearing, and then you're back around the front. It should take you, by your estimation, 10 alchemy bombs to have enough traps to set this whole area.
Okay, I'll get started on that then.
All right. What about the rest of you guys? What are you thinking about?
I'm actually probably going to ambush Henny either when Henny is alone or with Bea.
All right. So you guys all wander back into the warehouse after your walk, and everybody here. It's a big open area, and so some people have sat down, like they've knocked over a big spool and they've put down some chairs, and they're just talking. You see that Corvo Blue and Red have been putting up maps. The fire Vesta that you had started is still going, and you see that John set up some alchemy brewing equipment.
Perfect.
The merchants have taken a spot close to the door to kind of set up all their equipment as well.
All right. At that point, I'm just going to be like, look, Hanny. And
Yeah?
I'm just going to pull out from like a side pocket and sort of like toss you your coin pouch.
Oh my! Did you grab this off?
I had a moment to grab it, yeah. So I snagged it. Look,
Thanks.
I know this hurt you a lot. So I just wanted to, give it back to you. You don't have to live in fear. You know that, right?
I appreciate that, Reggie. I mean, I don't want to be sort of a downer, but there are a lot of things to be afraid of. But,
And a nearby trunk has just bumped into a pot and knocked it onto the ground. He's walking, not even realizing the amount of noise he's just made.
yeah, Henny sort of jumped at that. But no, this means a lot to me. I have been worried sick.
You have an unknown skill. Whatever you lose always seems to come back to you in one way or another. You lost your masks? Well, you gave those up, but sure enough, they came back. Bay left. Sure enough. And now, your coins. So just remember that. You've got luck. Something that I'm a little bit missing.
Poor Reggie.
Reginald? Do you... I feel like you're sort of conflating a couple things here that aren't necessarily conflatable.
I'm just saying, happenstance seems to happen your way. So just enjoy it while you can. And don't worry, because worrying's not going to do anything about it.
I give a nod.
Poor Reggie.
Poor Reggie.
Like, okay, Gabe, I've been hinting at Reggie's like unknown anger towards you this entire time. It's 100% been the fact that you keep getting things and then giving them up, whereas Reggie's just trying to get something, and it just keeps screwing him over. He's been trying to make sense of the fucking world. And he tried to do it through religion and lost his wife. He tried to get his wife back and nope. He tried to start writing, lost all of his fucking manuscripts.
Poor Reggie.
Well,
Reggie's just a little bit like, what am I doing in the world? What am I doing in the world? Every time I try to get my shit together, something blows it up, blows it out of the water, blows it away. Like,
I don't know. I don't have to tell you, but Reginald, the world doesn't make sense. You don't have a place that you just fit into naturally. Like, that's not how it works. Like, I sort of realized that a while ago that nothing is ever just going to work out. That's why I'm on edge all the time, because at any moment things could just vanish, and I think you just have to live in that a little bit.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. You're worrying about things that you can't control, and I know for you, not being able to control things is tough. However, we are living in absolute chaos, and unless you roll with the punches and not fret about every little detail, they will consume you.
Yeah, I mean, that's helpful advice. I'm starting to realize that.
And at that, Reggie's going to walk away and pick up the pot that Trunk knocked over.
It is so foggy outside.
God, it's just gotten worse.
You should just open your window and let the vape in.
Oh no, it's open. It's wide
Window is
open.
Oh, it
totally
is
open.
okay.
Oh,
Isn't
man.
that how you get like tentacle creatures that come in and murder everyone?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
we're looking for we're looking for the tentacle.
The
creature.
thing is, I would rather be dealing with tentacle monsters right now, because tentacle monsters feels like the sort of thing that like even the most crazy of people couldn't just flat out deny exist. You know? It feels like a sort of problem that's just so tangible and visible that we could all band together to solve it.
Tentacle.
It's just a flying squid that... It's just a very large squid that, attached to the side of your building.
Yeah. The thing is, if that happened, like, we just have to stay inside for, 3 hours tops, and then, they'll shoot it.
Like-
But because of the
Perfect.
fog, it was nice and moisturized.
Yeah. Right, that's what was preventing flying squids
Yes,
from attaching to their
that's-
building, the moisture content of the atmosphere.
Exactly.
Speaking of moisture content,
Jesus
There's a-
Christ, where are you going?
so Vesta and Elbjorn walk up right as Reggie departs, and Henny's sitting there and drop down a couple crates. Vesta, you got a crate for your own purposes and just walked over here. What are you carrying?
alchemy supplies.
All right. So as you sort of,
Like a brush that I went and got or whatever.
so you sort of like crack it open. There's a bunch of vials. You put them down. You take your pouch. You put it next to it, and you start taking your mortar and pestle, a bunch of nearby herbs, and getting ready to sort of just prep. Elbjorn, meanwhile, takes the crowbar from you. He cracks open another crate, and moisture content. There's a nice crisp as he opens a bottle of beer and offers it to Henny.
Yeah, I think we've earned this. And I take it, and I take a nice big swig of nerve calming juice.
Elbjorn cracks one open, and he just goes, I mean, you're walking in the forest, you trip, you fall over, there's a root in the wrong place, it stabs you in the heart, and you're dead. Same thing as dying in a fight anyways. You're alive now. Fuck it. Life's chaotic, so be it. And he just drinks.
Well,
A little swig.
let's just say that I prefer to watch my step. I'm just down on this thing.
You say like gripping the beer like
On that dour note, Red just sort of walks up, grabs a bottle, but doesn't crack it, and he puts down a box and goes, anybody want to play a board game? Is it not time for a board game?
Reggie's
He
down
just
for a
he picks
board
it
game.
up and he just goes, maybe it's not.
No, I think a board game would be a great idea.
Yeah, Reggie's down to play a board game.
We could play a board game. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Let's play board game.
Okay, this is a 6 to 8 player game. Who are the players? They're in teams of 2.
Me and Bea. I'm dragging Bea over.
All right.
team with
I don't know who Reggie wants to team up with. Reggie will team up with fucking John.
Okay.
It was a bonding
then I'll-
experience. No. Reggie's teaming up with Milton.
All right.
Milton. Poor Milton. We've all just forgotten about him so often.
Reggie
Even-
never
even
forgets
Will
about
would-
Milton. All right?
Even Will, when he was describing the fighters, was like, there's, Elbjorn, Tronk, Omar, Absolution, and then miles later down the list, and I guess Milton. I guess.
Reggie
I made a
never
long
forgets.
list of semi-expendable troop NPCs, and none of them have been dying because you guys, in spite of how bad things have gone, you've made some good decisions, and now I'm kind of forgetting them.
Oh, Milton.
So, Red and Elbjorn as a team. Who's with Vesta?
Red and Elbjorn as a team. 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 Red
Oh, oh, I don't know.
Or is Vesta going to sit this one out?
She'll sit this one out.
She's got
All right.
potions
You
to
want-
make.
So you're within earshot, but nearby you finish prepping things, and then you're going to start heating up some glassware and liquefying some other stuff. In which case, who's the other team of people? There's 3 teams. There could be 4.
Gunner and Sniper, what are they doing?
So the couple of basically strangers are sitting there putting things together, but they shrug. What a nice way to get to know a new friend, and they sit on down.
I crack open another beer.
Because you've already
All right.
tried the first one?
Yes. I made a ew yucky face the whole time.
So, Vesta, you are... Oh, no.
Oh, she's gone.
Chelsea is stood up. Just in
Quick.
time.
Quick, Ken, drag the images down to where Chelsea was.
Well, Gabe, you finally get to sit next to your bae, Trunk and Elmira.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, there's Milton, always forgotten, but has a fez.
He does have a fez, which I think I drew the fez. Was I?
Yeah, the fez was your
Yeah.
thing that Will confirmed is canon.
After drawing this horrible image of... Oh, man, you moved it right before I was going to make the I'm beside myself joke.
It's nice seeing the shit that happens when people leave the table, because usually I'm the one leaving the table.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So... Well, I'll just wait for the headphones to be back on.
The headphones are back on.
Vesta check. Is there a Vesta? Is there a Vesta?
We're good.
There's
We're
a
good.
Vesta. Hey, there we go. So you're sitting down and crunching down on some alchemy. Are these for the traps? Are these for something else? What are you crafting?
Traps. Trap alchemy.
All right. So over the same fire, Reggie, did you say you were working with John?
No,
Or teaming up with John? No, you were
I
with
was teaming
Milton.
up with Milton.
Okay, so John is also over by the alchemy. He's heating up some stuff of his own, and you see that it looks like he's making little, like, capsules almost, and fusing the glass over top for his grenades.
Cool. Cool.
So, Reggie, it is you and Milton's turn. This is going to be a parenthetical title for this board game. We'll do it in a little improv game. So, like, first part of title, second part of title. So, Ken, what's the first half of this board game title?
Ooh, I feel like it should be made up. Given that it's red, though, it could definitely be from, like, something else. Oh, fuck. What's the game that's, what's the game that's, like, House on Haunted Hill or something like that?
Yeah, I think that's literally it. House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
the haunted house on the haunted hill.
We'll go with House on Haunted Rookery. Or Rookery on Haunted Hill. There we go.
So Rookery on Haunted Hill, Gabe, what's the second half?
18 plus edition.
18 plus edition. Okay. So Reggie, it's you and Milton's turn. How are you?
Oh, fuck. I just realized how fucking dark this might be. We've been on Rookery Hill. Oh. I don't regret my
that was
decision one bit.
side, weren't it?
Yeah.
Oh no. You guys.
There's a historical history in Bloodwine of Rookery Hill being a spot of a massacre. And we just made that.
Okay, I know that may be true, but at the same time, the whole expression of going postal came from like a literal postal worker massacring people at a post office. But people still say going postal
That's
as a
true.
joke, and there's a game called Postal.
That's true.
Right.
I'm pretty
That's
sure
true.
there's a series of movies also called Postal.
That's true.
The thing is, I feel like this isn't literally a board game about massacring beast folk.
No,
I feel like that's sort of.
I feel like this game was made like 20 years beforehand and has a little bit of a yikes factor, but a bit of a community to like overset the yikes factor.
Okay.
Oh goodness. Okay.
So, Reggie, you're on a team with Milton. How are you using your skills in Rookery on Haunted Hill 18 Plus Edition?
Reggie's approaching it from a very military tactics standpoint of where should he be positioned, knowing his enemies' positions, stuff like that. He's very bad at keeping things close to his chest, though.
Okay. And what is Milton doing?
I feel like Milton's just trying to cover for Reggie. Whenever
So what
Reggie
does-
screws up some information, he's always trying to like hide that.
So with Reggie's tactical moves, considering this would be a board game and you're taking turns, what does Reggie think Milton's going to help with?
Reggie thinks that Milton is actually going to be more tactically minded than him. If nothing else, Reggie thinks that Milton might not bring a whole lot to the table, but he's trying to teach him how to do the tactics of the table, despite never playing this game before.
Okay, so what was your role?
Oh, am I rolling Militactics for that?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see, that's an 11.
Ugh, and I'm subtracting your ally's roll because you're at cross purposes. So you're sitting there trying to tell Milton what to do, and you keep trying to like form into formations as you're making your way up the tower, and Milton keeps trying to flank, and it is really impacting your gameplay. Henny, how are you using your skills for Rookery on Haunted Hill 18 Plus Edition?
Every time there's a trivia challenge card that gets drawn, I'm trying to use my sleuth skills to deduce, based on how they read the answers, which one is the right one.
Okay, and what do you think Bea's going to do?
Bea is probably because as we all know in the classic game, there's a bartering segment where you have to decide which tokens you're going to trade with other people. I feel like she's using her bartering to really, really get us ahead.
Okay, so roll sleuth.
This is a great game that we're making. I'd play this.
Right.
It's
okay.
got a little bit of vibes of like Secret Hitler going along with Catan. Like
that's a 21.
21.
And God, I hope I don't get to one of those truth or dare cards. Those are the worst.
Reggie loves
Okay,
those.
so as you're sitting there trying to intuit the cards people have from whatever knowledge of the game that you have, and likewise, Bea's trying to barter things off, you guys make a potent combo. Because you are working together, your rolls add. So Reggie and Milton's team are tanking, while Henny and Bea's are doing quite well.
See, Reggie, the secret is to just, as you're making up the game, make up rules that play to your strengths.
That's what I did, but I didn't make up
you're
rules
right.
that play to Milton's strengths. Because I wanted us to be diametrically opposed.
Goodness gracious.
So Gunner and Sniper start basically camping in the corner of the map and just hoarding resources. In the sort of way that's like... Actually, both Gabe and Ken independently roll odds and evens.
Odds.
Oh, I didn't even...
I got odds.
I got evens.
Both good.
Okay, so you're sort of torn. Both of you are kind of like, okay, it's a strat, instead of raging over the fact that it's complete cheese.
I would say that Reggie is more frustrated that he hasn't been able to break their formation. And it's more of a like, damn it, Milton, we gotta do this. And he keeps butting against the camping strat, thinking he's gonna break through it.
All right, so as you're sitting there trying to break the camping strat, it's, who was I saying? Red and Albjorn's turn, and they are devastating at this game. Red is basically just playing two characters, while Albjorn is enthusiastically, like, just doing stuff and watching the devastation unfold. Reggie and Milton have dropped out, and it's only the other 3 remaining.
Reggie, oh man, okay. Oh.
So, Vesta, you're sitting there getting stuff ready, and as you're looking around and seeing the other people getting to work, you see that there's a number of resources you might have at your disposal. You have an armor smith, you have a merchant, you have a gunsmith, it looks like. Based on what John's making, it looks like he's able to put together some sort of like alchemy launchers if you should need them, and of course you've got tons of grenades you can be putting together. What are you thinking in terms of these traps? What are these traps going to be like?
Grenade launcher. like a shotgun. It's grenades. But it's like mounted. So like so like a ritual thing goes off, and then a grenade is like boom.
Are you trying to bring mechatronic weapon solutions into Bloodwine?
It's the ritual like trigger, and then just a mortar. Just a mortar happens.
Oh no, I got it. Okay, so you know a potato cannon? You do like a potato cannon with a potion in there, but instead of putting aerosol, you put a glyph.
Ah, yes.
A glyph of force.
And a glyph of force, and then you set that glyph of force to go off whenever somebody walks into the grenade range. Goodness.
It'll be great for detection. All we'll hear is just and then just chaos.
I like it. This is what's going through Vesta's mind.
It's great.
All right. John likes the ingenuity of it, and he works together with you on these. Do you want to roll alchemy while he rolls as well?
Yeah, sure. I love it.
Actually, instead of rolling alchemy, why don't you roll ritual?
Okay.
Glyphs are broken as hell.
I think you'll find that glyphs are fun as hell.
I find as a GM they work exactly as intended.
Including that time I solved your dramatic mystery plot.
Yes! That was clever! So what'd you roll?
13.
13. So you're working with John, and he loads up a couple of these. They're just kind of like point-and-shoot kathunk kind of launchers. The way that you have the right set up, you incant as you put these down. You just balance them on top of a tree branch a few different places in the forest. There's 4 of them. And tied together with your wards, if someone gets too close, it'll fall, and it should be pointing the right direction if the magic goes right.
I like it. I like a little bit of a spice in our life, you know?
All right. Meanwhile, as the game's going on, Ken, are you going to sit there and watch as the game continues to unfold? That's what Milton's inclined to do. You could also be up to something else.
I think Reggie gets a little bit angry at the fact that he just completely got obliterated. Like, he was buying resources off of Bea in order to attack Gunner, and, like, just none of it was going his way. And so he's going to go outside. He's going to go outside and train. He's very frustrated. He's so angry.
All right. Are you going to be training alone? Is this going to be weapon training or druid training? And if it's weapon training, who are you taking with you if you're sparring?
He is not going to spar. He is just going outside to, like, just train. Like, he is going to, like, do any military drills he can by himself. He's doing push-ups, sit-ups, doing a run. Like, he's just so frustrated. He needs to work off his anger.
All right. So you're sort of pacing up and down in this thicket, and you're trying to keep it with like your forms like chop, clearing some space. Might as well do something good while you're here. You're getting angry. You're hacking into the brush, and you lunge and you slip, and there's a thump, almost like stepping into a rotten log. You see what you've stepped into right as it happens. Your foot goes in, and it's something overgrown. It almost looks like it's a rotten log. There's mushrooms and grasses and rich leaves coming out of it. But there's like a hissing, and you see a half-rotted open deer's head. And for a second, you swear you hear it say, "Rot King."
Rocking? Or
Rot King.
Rot King. Oh, fun.
Nasty.
Roll that druid magic.
Okay. Mine specifically pertains to Grove, but I guess I know a little bit of Henge. Okay. That's a 10, and that is 15. That is a 22.
22. There's no magic in, like, from your school in the animal that just went down. So it wouldn't have been, like, anything living that uttered that. This isn't any sort of, like, animal control stuff that you would have learned from your parents growing up. This is different. That being said, you're drawn towards this thing. As you kneel down and get closer, you start to feel a presence. And as you get closer and closer, you see that sort of underneath the shards of bone and rot, there's little maggots kind of coming up and eating their way through and back into the flesh. In spite of the fact that otherwise you might be disgusted by just staring at something rotting, you feel pleasant, satiated, like you're having a nice meal.
I need Blue's help on this one. I'm gonna stand up and turn and go tell Blue what happened. Just like, hey Blue, can I talk to you for a minute and go outside and explain on the way there what the fuck just happened? Because there's something magical going on here, but I have no clue what it is.
All right. Meanwhile, what's happening in Rookery on Haunted Hill 18 Plus Edition?
Me and Bea have just assembled all 4 parts of the Forbidden One, and we get to ask one raunchy truth or dare question.
Okay, what role are you using for this, and what do you think Bea's doing?
I'm trying to use Sleuth to figure out what the most embarrassing question I could ask Elbjorn is.
Oh, wow. That's a tough sleuth.
All right, roll that.
That is a very tough sleuth.
Because if he chickens out, he's out of the game. And I think Bea is probably she's probably trying to think of something real embarrassing to ask. So 21.
Okay. So as you've put this together for a raunchy question and you're aiming at Elbjorn, you're sort of like hesitating, and it's like a line. You have to be like, we have all the pieces of the Forbidden One, and then Bea has to say, "Kya, raunchy question time," and she just freezes and goes,
Bea, you gotta say it. I'm
and then Red slaps the table and goes, "Flub!" And Bea just goes, "Gah, we lost it."
No, Bea, we worked so hard to get these 4 pieces, and
You
now
lost
the table is
all the pieces? Oh, wow, that sucks.
Oh, man. Now we have to answer a funny, raunchy question.
Okay, so Chelsea, on behalf of Red and Elbjorn, what's the raunchy question?
Have you guys had sex?
Henny turns bright red.
Are you not gonna answer? You'll lose.
Bea leans back and is just like, yeah, we've had like 6 sex. Maybe even 7.
Oh, yes. I'm beat red, and I put my face on the table, and I crack open another beer.
Just like slam.
Now they know we fucked.
It's
I
all for
wanted to
naught
find
because
out if they fuck.
you end up flunking out of the game. It's nothing but NPCs left. Is Henny going to sit there and watch, or is Henny walking off to...
Henny's going to sit there and chant in favor of the gunner and sniper, just absolutely creaming Red and Albiorn.
All right. In that case, Chelsea as Vesta, you have set up all these traps in the forest, and you've just come back from your excursion. What's next?
Man, I don't know. Just gonna go see how the game's going, I guess.
All right, so as you get there, you see that Bea's kind of just like sitting there, having a beer, watching the game go down, sort of like parallel to Albiorn and Red, who are against Gunner and Sniper on the opposite sides of the table. Bea's just kind of watching, but Henny is full on leaning in, going like behind Gunner and Sniper, like trying to plot with them. And you see that there's nobody standing behind Red and Albiorn, sitting there going to cream Henny vestigially through other people on the other side of the table. Are you going to be partaking?
Yeah, I will.
As you join the table, Henny yells, "Get that fucking twink!"
I want that twink obliterated.
So, Reggie, you walk back inside just as you see Henny sort of going, "I want you to get that twink." And to the other side, you see that like the old guys are all just kind of sitting there on some boxes. Rollins, John, Corvo, Blue, and Absolution are all sitting around having a talk.
I'd probably just kind of walk up and just be like, "Hey, Blue, I found something outside that seems a little bit magical in nature. Was hoping you could come help me investigate."
Oh yes, of course. Like nods.
And then as we're walking by, I'm gonna grab Henny and just be like, "You should come see this too." Just be like, "You don't need the rest of the game."
I go.
So before you do that, like Blue sort of just goes, hold on. And he reaches out a little bit. And he grabs his staff and he gets himself awake. And he goes, "Oh, I don't like hiking." Anyways, during the time that it takes for that whole exchange, there's some stuff going down here. So Henny with Gunner and Sniper, you're just giving them advice. What skills are you using for this?
Probably doctor. I'm like, oh, yeah. You can see from the brow on the sweat on his brow. He's nervous. You gotta go in for the kill. This is not. I don't think I'm being especially helpful here.
Okay. What about Vesta?
It's like shit sleuthing.
Yeah.
Probably like a social understand. You know,
All right.
like my best poker face. Like, what's the best? What's their plan? What are they planning? What cards are they gonna play next?
How much ammo do they have left to be camping in the corner?
Yeah.
How desperate are they getting?
Truth or dare question coming up.
Okay, this is an opposed check between Henny and Vesta here.
Ooh.
Okay, what are you rolling?
I rolled 22.
Oh, there's no way I can get that. 10.
Okay, so Vesta, you're leaning in and you're like just against the table. You're going, and Henny, as you're like sitting there trying to get a read, you're like trying. You can't pay attention to the noise. Stop with the noise. And then suddenly it draws on you. Vesta's got nothing. And then it dawns on you. And then it dawns on you. Vesta's the leader. That means they've got nothing. And then you whisper in, and then slam, slam, slam. The Forbidden One is reborn. And they... Like, you think that you're about to be given the question, and then right as this happens, there's kind of like a... So you guys ever do butt stuff with each other? And then kind of just... In very much like a... Oh yeah, we don't really know you. Right now, Jordan kind of just like... Yeah, sometimes.
No! I don't know if you were there when we were playing board games at Ken's place, and we played... Oh, you totally were.
Yeah.
That's how worked up Henny is right now. Like, to the point where she's screaming. Like, them losing like this sends her into hysterics. She collapses to her knees, sobbing.
Oh. And Henny's just like, they were the traitor! They were the traitor!
So yeah, Reggie, you walk up right as like Vesta's sort of standing nearby as 4 people are just calmly packing up a board game after a nice win, going, maybe some beers, maybe another one, I don't know. Well, Henny is like draped over the table, 5 beers deep, being like, treason!
He's...
Yeah.
You need a walk. You're a little bit too into it.
I'm not too into it. They were cheating.
You just can't accuse everyone of cheating, all right?
Hey, Vesta, were they cheating?
No, I don't think so.
That doesn't seem like Red's thing. Red would want to win, like, fair and square, I think.
Vesta has 4 arms, twice the amount.
Yeah,
of
and
cards.
Vesta wasn't touching the cards.
Why are you always so mean to me?
Well, when I tried to be nice, I was nice.
That's such a 5 beers deep line, too. Why are you being so mean to me?
I got some cool science stuff for you to look at, all right?
Oh, okay.
All right, so Henny, Vesta, Blue, and Reggie all wander off to the sort of hacked up brush, which isn't super noticeable. It's just a little bit clearer. And you get towards where that half-rotten deer carcass is. Sure is a half-rotten deer carcass that you stepped in.
Now, when I came over here, there's some shenaniganry here. Including the deer carcass, the dead deer, saying Rot King.
Rocking?
Rot King.
As in the king of rot.
As in the king of rot. Which has me a little bit concerned because we want to stay away from rot. As a general
So
principle.
Henny, your first thought is a name, a title, a book? I have an Arcana book. Blue interjects with, Did you sense anything with your magic?
It's definitely not my element here.
Okay.
I have to go get something, and I kind of stumble towards my backpack, and
Like
then
I'm
I stumble back sobbing because my Arcana book was 100% in my quarters on the ship.
Oh.
I don't have a book.
That was bad. I'll do some like ritual with Blue to see if there's like any magic going on.
All right. If you're taking care of the ritual, then Blue's going to back off and do some Arcana to try and fill what's not in the book.
Okay. 16 for detect magic.
Okay. So you come in close to this thing and you certainly do feel something. You can sense that it's mortal magic of some sort. It doesn't seem to be like cast magic per se. It might be due to a creature or an effect or something, but it doesn't seem like it's strong. Like there's, like this is some sort of trap, or like there's some sort of ritual that's about to get detonated. Like this is kind of just residual mortal magic in a sense.
Okay. I tell everybody that information.
Blue's sort of pacing back and forth, and he goes, Rot King, Rot King. If it's mortal, then Rot King must be some sort of... And he paces back and forth and goes, but... Yes, well...
Well, in my experience with druids, it's not my element, because there's the two schools of druid magic, as you know. There's Grove and there's Henge. And given the excess of fauna here, I would say that it would definitely be a Henge thing. And then he realizes and goes, Flora, sorry.
I rolled a 19 for medical. I'm gonna poke it with a stick. Does it move?
It don't move.
I look up at Reggie with all seriousness and say, "It's dead."
With your stick poking, you sort of like jab into its gut, and as you do so, there's a light sort of hiss, a release of air. There's no fluid or anything, but as you sort of pull back your stick, you can see, like, sure enough, all kinds of little maggots clinging to stuff. You can see that there's mushrooms growing out of this, little sprouts, and near the bottom, it's kind of just blending together with the rest of the overgrown, sort of mossy dirt here.
I put on my best Blue impression, and I say, "Even in death, there's life." And then I chuckle to myself.
At this point, Blue sort of just furrows his brow and goes, Well, we'll need to find out who exactly this Rot King is. That might be some work.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could just be Henny's paranoia rubbing off on me. But we've dealt with a lot of weird shit in the last couple of days, and I just want to make sure.
Bea's the only one I rub off on.
Vesta looks at you like, dude.
And yet she was embarrassed to answer it earlier.
Yeah.
That was 2 beers ago. Do you think that maybe like a king of rot, his enemies would be the unrottable life drinkers? Maybe we could just pit them against each other and it's all go away.
Or the Rot King could really just like bringing death and destruction to other people and is actually a life drinker in disguise. So that he doesn't rot, but he can make other people rot.
I like that.
What?
Really connecting the dots there.
You didn't say that you liked mine, or I was connecting the dots.
Well, this is why you lost at the game.
Yeah, you're really connecting the dots there.
Okay, I think I don't have my Arcana book anymore because it got all blowed up. Can I do an Arcana check?
Yeah. You still know things, you just don't have a book.
I don't have a book. Man.
You did read that book a lot.
I did read the book a lot. That is a 17.
17. You're like 80% sure that there was not a Rot King in your book. That being said, from what you know about these like mortal magic creatures of sort, is that unlike like celestials or demons or darklings that are kind of just immortal and ever present in a sense, mortal beasts like this live and die. You would have to hunt down whoever this Rot King is now, and it might not be the same person who it was the last time this Rot King was encountered.
I don't even know if this is our problem.
Yeah, might not be our
Was
problem.
this dead deer here before? Because if it was just sort of lying here, maybe that's why everybody left and abandoned this place. And so like maybe this is sort of old news that we don't need to worry about.
Possibly.
I mean, the
Possible.
deer is still here, so I would assume it's far more recent than the brush being covered and all the roads being covered. And
I roll science to see if this is accurate. Oh god, that's not very good. That's a 15 to see if this deer has been there longer than the road, and that's been grown over.
You reckon it's been longer, like the deer has been on the ground longer than the road has started overgrowing. It's just a really weird question. Like, it's not the same time scale. What are you trying to infer from this?
I'm trying to infer if this place was abandoned around the same time that this dead deer showed up.
Nah, it just looks like a deer that's been dead a while.
Okay, so that theory's out the window. I'm going to go inside because this sounds like a great way for me to get my anxiety up. So maybe you guys could figure out if I need to worry about this and then tell me in the morning if I should be terrified or not.
will do.
Thanks.
See, that's what I do. I bring the anxiety levels down, and then I skyrocket them back up, and then bring them down.
Yeah, it's a heart rate roller coaster.
It works.
All right. In that case, Henny sort of trudges off back inside to get back to deliberately distracting revelry. Meanwhile, Reggie, Vesta, and Blue are sitting there kind of ponderously hanging about this corpse.
It might be worth it to check back in the morning to see if, like, it's unnaturally more decomposed than it is right now. You know, maybe the decomposition is faster than it should be because, you know, the Rot King has influence over it.
Yeah, that works. We'll just keep guard, and, you know, we were going to do that anyway, so...
Yeah, I don't think we should worry about it too much. Maybe Rot King is also out to get us, but there's a lot of people who are out to get us right now, so not too worried about it.
Well, that's my cue, and Blue starts trudging back in towards the warehouse.
Yeah, I follow him.
What's Reggie doing?
I'm going to stick around just a little bit. I'm going to poke around in different areas that I think could have similar, like, see if I could find another, basically. Because I stumbled upon this one. Maybe I can stumble upon another?
All right. Do you want to roll Grove Druid again?
Mental stumble upon? Alright, that's a 10. That is a 14.
All right, a 14. I'm going to resolve that. Actually, no, I'm going to do this now and then cut back to everybody else. So you're sort of wandering around, peeling your eyes, looking into the woods, when suddenly you feel like a pang of hunger, and you start to salivate a little. You feel an attraction back to that corpse.
Oh no.
A pull. You feel a pull towards it. I'm not going to use the word attraction in that
No,
context.
I wasn't saying oh no to that. My mind did not go there.
Mine did.
Well, get your mind out of the gutter. Get your mind out of the gutter. There's already a dead, decaying deer in there. So...
Get your mind out of the mausoleum.
Well, I'll go back to...
You trudge
go back to
back.
Yeah.
You trudge back, and right as you get there, you see that one of the sprouts that's been pulled out of there, there's maybe a chipmunk or something, you're not sure, some kind of small rodent that just nibbles and chews on a bit of the leaf and then dives back into the wilderness, and your feeling fades.
Weird.
Yeah, that's not
I'm
great.
going to go back inside now. I feel a little bit weirded out by this whole experience. And still slightly peckish. I think I'm going to go eat.
You look at the dead, decaying corpse of a deer, and you're like, I think I'm going to go eat something.
Deer skull will make you hungry.
So, Reggie, you walk back into the warehouse. Where are Henny and Vesta, and what are they up to?
Henny has probably gone to bed at Bea's, insistence. Hey, you should go to bed. You've had enough.
That's the following pattern.
Yeah, that's not Bea's inclination at all. Bea would not send you to bed. Bea would match you and then join your level of commiseration.
That's what we're doing.
Then that's what's happening.
All right, what about Vesta?
This is chatting. Just talking to people.
All right, so you see that, up in sort of the mezzanine, crumpled near the, open slip-away window, Henny and Bea are just sort of, drunkenly moaning to each other about something. Downstairs, you see that everybody's sort of gathered and walking around. Vesta's talking to some of the other adventurers as you guys have the maps laid out in front of you. So what are you guys thinking so far? Now as you guys look outside, it's the late afternoon. It's getting a little bit golden out there.
I thought it was much later than that.
Honestly, given the binge drinking, I'm going to maybe say that it's a little bit before midnight.
Okay. Yeah, it was the binge drinking. I was like, it's got to be really late.
We're on Corona time, baby.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about this entire situation.
Happy Corona, everybody.
Happy coronavirus.
What does the sun look like again? I forget. I know I went out today, but it was really foggy, so...
It's cleared up now.
It has.
That's good.
Something about the heat differential between the ground and
Something about the sun, something in the sun.
Yeah, no, for sure, Jerry. No, for sure.
Next week.
Next week, for sure, Jerry. So, you guys are sitting there kind of around the warehouse. It's getting later at night. Things are petering out. Is there anything you guys are going to do before you sort of clamber off to sleep?
Yeah, me and Bea are probably going to drunkenly sing a refrain from a song that we both know. But right now, the only song that comes to mind is "Sometimes I Feel I've Got to," bom, bom, and we're doing the bomb bombs really loud, just absolutely screaming and stomping on the bomb bombs.
So as you do that, from down below, you hear clunk, clunk, and Gunner and Sniper go, "Run away!"
But instead of love, we're singing blood because we thought it would be funny. They drink life. This all started because I had the idea, well, if they slurp blood right out, what if we poisoned ourselves? And then when they slurp the blood out, they would die. And then we started singing Tainted Blood.
So as you guys are kind of rowdy on one end of the warehouse and towards sort of another corner where all the bedrolls are tucked behind some held up tarps, you can hear grumbling of people trying to sleep. Near the corner where alchemy had been brewed before, where you're sort of keeping a fire going for the sake of heat, Elbier is just sort of sitting there looking at the life drinker knife, watching the light glint off of it. Henny's getting drunk. What's Reggie doing?
Reggie is in deep contemplation, trying to remember literally anything and everything that his dad would have taught him about Henge.
Not much you can remember. The only thing you remember is being told over and over, vaguely, sort of just feel it, trust it, look at the feelings, that sort of stuff.
Always the most unhelpful things.
Nice and vague and beginner-friendly kind of stuff.
Yeah. It was like, trust, you're good. Well, my gut is hungry now, so look how that turned out.
So you just kind of... Roll brawn, just out of curiosity.
How much do I have in brawn? I have 6 physical. So that would be 10. That would be 18.
18. So you just kind of and you quietly put the couch down close to the fire and just take up the space near where Elbjorn's just sort of like on the ground looking at the knife, and you're kind of sitting there being like, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. What's Vesta up to?
Trying to go to sleep, I guess. Like finishing up her conversations with people and heading off to bed with the bump bump in the background.
All right, so you walk past, like, open the warehouse door right as Johnstone's heading out onto watch. And you hear clunk, clunk, run away. And you look around and you see sort of a mix of different reactions. Lots of people have already gone to bed. Some people are smashed out in the corner singing. Some people in quiet contemplation. Some people are still in full work mode going out on watch. And you sort of just scratch your head and trudge off to the bedrolls where it's on the darker end of the warehouse.
I will say, having lived in an apartment with neighbors that would blare music at like all hours of the night, it's very nice that you're sticking to one song. Because
because people are going to bed, we have sort of quieted our voice down a little bit. Still doing the bonbons as loud as possible, though.
Yeah.
But also, we kind of got stuck in a loop of just going, sometimes I feel I've got to bump, bump, run away. 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 Just that endlessly.
So you're doing your best, your best, your best, your best.
Yes.
So, but like, the worst thing would be if you switch to another song before the bump bump. So everyone would be sitting there listening to you fucking sing, and then they would get to the bump bump that you know the song, you're waiting for it, but then you start singing something else. That
Dancing Queen!
Yeah. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the worst torture you can do for your neighbor. At least if you're going to blare music, blare the whole goddamn song.
Henny sort of drunkenly staggers up to Reginald and goes, Hey, if I was a druid, you could call me Henji. Get it? Like Henny, but like Henge.
So you're sort of the Henji, and you feel like a light pat and a little kiss on the forehead, and then a light pat and a kiss on the forehead, and it feels lighter, but Henji, and then there's a shove from a boot, and you look up, and Bea leans down and gives you coffee and goes, "Noon. It's noon." So, Henny, you wake up as people have already sort of gotten back to stuff after that first night of unwinding. There's not really a ton of pressure to get a plan together yet, as you guys are still kind of relaxing, taking some much-deserved relaxation. That being said, there's still a few people milling about. As Henny wakes up around noon, what's Vesta doing?
Getting lunch together, I guess.
All right, so downstairs, the fire is seeing a lot of use. From people heating up alchemy to people heating up metal. The coffee just being made now. You're sitting there like full on, getting stuff ready. Whatever little rations had been pocketed from before, You've got some stuff that was freshly picked up from Elmira early this morning, and you're sort of getting it all ready. What about Reggie?
Reggie is going to be trying to follow his father's advice. Just feel it out, get the feeling for it, see what's coming up with it. Is he feeling anything?
All right. Give me another roll.
Of Grove?
Yep.
That's a 13.
13. You're trying to feel it, and you're sort of just sitting there, sort of cussing to yourself, like, the only thing I feel like a Greek salad. It's more feta. You really want a salad, like specifically a salad is the thing you want the most in the world. And at this point, you're like 2 miles from camp, just trudging through the woods on your Reggie-owned business. And you come across a clearing, and you see that there's like little leaves and moss covering old stumps that are now just barely features. There's nice soft dirt. The whole area seems flat, this big open swath, part of a hillside. There's all sorts of brush here, bushes. You see that there's a couple of deer that have walked into the clearing, and they see you, but it's almost like the way they see the other deer, and you're able to walk around. They're sort of eating at berries, nibbling off of some of the weeds on the ground, that kind of thing. It's pretty lush here. As you sort of kick a little bit one of the trunks, there's a bit that comes off, and you see that the inside, it's burnt to a crisp. Not freshly, like really, really old burnt wood kind of thing.
So it seems like this is an area of former devastation.
Mm-hmm. Like a bit of forest fire.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's certainly regrown nicely. Reggie's gonna reach down and grab some of the berries that the deers are sort of munching on, and munch some himself.
Right. What did you roll for Grove Druid?
13.
13. You find 13 coppers worth of berries.
Okay. And
or enough to heal you that much hit points.
I think Reggie will just pop one. How does that taste? Not good?
It's a raspberry.
Okay. Like, this area seems fine. I guess. Enough. Anyway.
You don't really feel anything anymore, so you kind of just trudge back the way you came.
I'm going to trudge back, and I'm going to tell Henny that there appears to have been a forest fire. That's probably why this place was abandoned. But it's regrown nicely.
Actually, this was like over a ridge and through a valley and past a little riverbed, and like this is a ways from camp.
Okay, well, I'll just
seemingly unrelated.
I'll just say it to anyone who's listening because, it's an interesting fact. Interesting fact from Old Man Reggie.
So as you walk up, you see that Rollins is on watch. He sees you before you see him, which is preferable.
That is how we want that to go. Yes.
And so you mentioned the thing with the forest fire, right?
Yeah.
Rollins nods and goes, "Yeah, that's what they say. They say like the ashes, it's good for the dirt, something like that."
Right. I remember something about that.
I don't know. Well, I guess you tell me if you're the truth, but you know.
I mostly just deal with animals. Plants were harder. How do you talk to a plant?
Rollins just sort of shrugs and goes, "I mean, how do you talk to anybody?"
Preferably
And he gets
by
back
going,
to his
"Hello."
watch. What'd you say?
I said preferably by starting it with hello. And that is how
All right,
Reggie
so-
starts all conversations with every animal he talks to, by going hello.
So you're walking, you're halfway up to the warehouse, a little chipmunk scurries by, and you go, hello. The chipmunk sort of turns, nods to you, and keeps going.
See,
And then you
don't
walk
get that from
back
a
to the
plant.
warehouse. It's a little bit afternoon now. The food's been prepared. What are Vesta and Henny up to?
Hey Vesta. Did you ever figure out what the deal was with that skull? The deer skull. You know
deer
the
skull?
one.
Oh. I guess not. Is Reggie back at the...
Reggie's just coming in now through the warehouse doors. They've
Okay,
been kind of left open for the sake of airing things out.
Yeah, I turned to Reggie and I asked, like, hey, did you go check out that deer body again? Is it the same as it was last night?
I have not.
Could you go look at that real quick?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go look at it, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, why don't you two both go together?
Arm in arm. Let's go. Let's skip our way there.
I don't know why that's what my mind went to for skipping music.
Yeah, that's definitely not skipping music.
It's very transition music,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air transition
Right,
music.
and then so the scene cuts, and now we're like animated in that Family Guy style.
Yeah.
You guys sort of like high five, and then it's like boom, 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 and then it cuts, and you guys are sitting there, sort of like crouched over. It's a low shot, like, yep, that's a dead deer. Do you want to roll science, Henny?
I would love to roll science. God. Ooh, don't mind if I do. That is a 22.
22. So with a 22, you take a look and you see that a lot of the fungi seem to be getting eaten up. There's definitely been some sinking, and the maggots are... You don't see as many of them. Like, the little scrubs and sprouts coming out of this corpse seem to be gaining, like, at least a few inches from the previous day, which at this stage of growth for a plant is not exceptional, but still good.
Okay.
You see also that the area not touching the body, but near it, the soil is kind of enriched, and the plants there are thriving pretty well as well.
I mean, I don't know.
It's still definitely a deer body.
I mean, it sucks for the deer, but it seems to be doing all right. Are you sure you heard anything? Like, are you sure that you heard a voice? Like, could it have been the wind, or...
It could have been gas escaping. That might be a thing. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong with it. I have a
No, I
feeling-
think...
Henny, roll politics.
Hoo-ah, that's a 18.
18. After Reggie says gas escaping, completely unrelated to this, like it strikes you as just an intrusive thought. Like you know how sometimes you aren't paying attention, and then you kind of just boink, boink, boink from topic to topic as you're wandering back, kind of thing?
Sure.
So the conversation dies out, and you guys are walking back, and you're thinking, gas escape. And like this big mining disaster, not the one you guys were involved in, the other one you guys were involved in, but a different, unrelated mine disaster, involving like igniting gas, and there being this whole like expose on how the mine company knew, and then that thing like being part of this whole sequence of events leading to major political change in the Ring Mountains. You're not sure why you're thinking of that.
Huh. Fucking writing that shit down.
So you guys kind of all get back to the warehouse. At this point, people have had a bit of food and they're getting back to their business. Red and Johnstone and Elmira are all kind of huddled around the map, just sort of taking a look at it. It seems to be unrelated, like it's there for whatever plans you're making, but you can hear that they're talking about like places they found good game, places with like interesting flora, that kind of thing.
Mm.
I would also like to point out that we do still have that 240 gold that we haven't distributed.
This is true. Although I feel like, I don't know, I feel like we might need some funds for our big plan. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
okay, yeah.
I'm saying that as part of the big overarching plan, there should definitely be some consideration as to money allocation of what the group will need.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
Should we at least talk about what we're going to be doing from now on? Like,
I think so.
Yeah, I think we should start by laying out what we know so far, right? We know that the Life Drinkers have this big meeting annually, I believe, at New Far Market. Or am I completely inventing this? Because that was our original way back before Henny joined the party. Goal was to get there.
yeah, but that was
Ages
months
back,
ago.
yeah.
Do they still have that? Is that still a thing?
Since you guys have started planning, some of the nearby invested NPCs are coming up and chiming in. Red sort of goes, "Oh, actually, yeah, that they move it all the time, but there should be another one of those coming up, not too far from, like maybe a month and a half. We need to make sure we're going for it, but a lot of them in one place, yeah."
Because I think that's our best bet. Either that or, the way I see it, we can have two ways we can take it. We can either do a direct physical approach and physically try to kill them, or we can try and bring this conspiracy to the light. Both of them seem sort of impossible for completely different reasons.
Well, point A being they control everything, including the army, and point B, they control everything, including the army.
I guess for the same reason then.
And point C, it's really hard to believe.
Yeah, no, it is.
At that point, Elbjorn leans in and goes, "Either way, I mean, when we kill them, it just buys us time, you know?"
Yeah, I think we should be looking into finding out more about this, just kind of as like as a thing.
Right. I guess our third option is to find some sort of cure.
Cure or, uncure.
Yeah, I was gonna say cure like the X-Men cure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that famous band of Mortal Magic users known as the X-Men.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that famous band known as The Cure.
Yeah, I was like, all right, he's going for the Cure reference.
Man, when Bono dies, I hope he ends up in here.
In Bloodwine?
Yeah.
That sounds like a terrible fate.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why, because I kind of like Bono.
It's just sometimes it's like an easy target. The same way that you can really, really rag on Twilight, because ultimately, you know that behind that, Stephanie Meyer is kind of sitting there and going, haha, yeah, and then like is psychologically capable of handling it and moving on.
Yeah, as she rolls in her millions.
Like, I'm sure Bono's not a bad dude. It's really fun to hate on Bono because it's like, what's he gonna do? Worst case scenario, in the most rare of circumstances where you're sitting there and Bono's like, "Hey, you made a joke at my expense." I feel like he would laugh about it, you know? Like, I feel like it wouldn't be the end of the world.
Probably.
The idea of meeting Bono and him saying, "Oh yeah, I watched the Bloodwine streams. You were really ripping into me," and then I stopped watching. That's like, I think that would be the most horrifying moment of my life.
Well, what I will say is that there's not a lot of people watching this show. However, the number of people watching this show is a number that I can't account for. So there are people watching this show that are people that, as far as I know, none of us personally know.
It could be Bono.
And one of those people could be Bono.
Hey, if you are Bono, don't you dare say anything.
Don't say
It's like a
you
1 in
like,
7
comment,
billion chance, but it could be Bono.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you're Bono. Follow us on Twitch if you're Bono.
No, see,
Only
none of
if you're
those.
Bono.
Listen, Bono. Hey, I know you're Bono. I know you're out there, Bono.
Gosh.
And I love your music. I love the cool songs that you do. Do not contact me. I swear to God, do not contact me.
Don't at me, Bono.
Don't at me.
You know, it took us like a couple minutes to set that up.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I fixed it.
Yeah.
It's fixed. It's fixed?
Yeah.
Oh,
I removed
Fixed
it.
enough.
Yes.
oh my goodness! Look what you've done.
Anyway, we should probably continue on. We went on a tangent there.
Yeah. Okay. So I think honestly, the thing that I like the most is trying to find a cure. I feel like that again is impossible, but at least it's a different problem than they control everything.
John speaks up and he goes, "A counter agent."
Yeah, a solution maybe.
Yeah, something like because the problem is yes, even if we do kill them, they will just by definition come back.
Yeah, I think we gotta find like some sort of elixir or something that just like kills them outright. You know.
Yeah, and then
You know, either makes them just mortal so that we can kill them properly, or
I feel like this is because I feel like there's a couple different prongs to this, right? Because even if we find an elixir, we're still going to have to get them to drink it. So I feel like it's still going to involve infiltrating a big meeting of
you can get
theirs.
them to drink it, or you can drown them in it.
Right.
Yeah, I was
Either
gonna
way.
say we did put a head in a bucket of sleeping draught. I don't know how that worked, but it did.
Yeah, or you could cut off their head, dump the elixir into their esophagus.
At this point, Steelfist uncharacteristically leads in real quiet, and he goes, I want to do a bit. Could you just get the map off the table so I don't... or anything important?
Yeah, sure.
Pull the map off the table so you can do a bit.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. So I feel like some of us are going to have to work on finding a cure. Some of us are going to have to figure out how we're going to get them all in one place and get ourselves there to sort of inflict this elixir on them. And some of us are just going to have to do a shit ton of research for any of this to play off.
Well, in that case, we're gonna have to have someone track down a life drinker so we can experiment on them. For that, we have the blade. And then we are going to have to find a solution. And then we are going to have to distribute the solution.
At this point, Blue sort of hums and goes, "Oh, well, they're quite large numbers. A lot for us to take on.
Yeah. But
Especially not all at once."
I was
There's got to be
saying,
some negative to having this power, right? Like, how did they get it?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because you can't... Even the most powerful magic user is drawing power from somewhere. And, I mean, the sort of power that they're using doesn't come anywhere close to just casting a fireball or something. There's... Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's... Somewhere along that chain, we can interrupt it.
Yeah.
Steelfist sort of goes, oh, and he goes, speaking, and he comes to the table and he goes, I'm sorry, you can put stuff back. I lost my steam. This isn't going to work out. Speaking of chains, I propose, and he goes, wait, and he backs up, and he urges Reggie to the side a little bit, and he runs up and he jumps onto the table and he goes, I propose a grand order. He climbs off the table and stands next to it and helps you put the map back on. And goes, I mean, there's a lot of them, and they keep hunting us down, but the thing is, we keep killing them, which means I think they need a lot of stuff to deal with just us. What if there were more of us? Because even if we have to keep killing them and killing them and killing them, what if that's what we do? Huh?
Okay. Okay. So sort of start a like incorporate.
Well, not in any like paper way, but become the drinker hunters.
I like it.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good idea. I feel like that's very similar to what we have been doing, but God, putting a name on it, I think would be spectacular.
Yeah, I think our next we should find the solution.
So pitches for names. Steelfist has suggested Drinker Hunters.
If we have to pick something, not that one. I'm gonna think of something better. And Steelfist wanders off.
Okay, Steelfist. I think Steelfist is probably going to come back with an amazing name. Off the top of my dome here, I'm thinking, what's that? Can I roll medical to figure out what the hell that flap at the back of your mouth is that doesn't close properly and causes choking? God,
Will
actually,
goes to Google. It's
the
same.
uvula.
Isn't the uvula the thing?
Oh shit, you're right.
It's not the uvula.
But also, isn't the thing that you choke on your tongue?
No, it's
Epiglottis. The epiglottis. Yeah. So, I think we could call ourselves the epiglotti. Because they drink, and we're gonna make them die, and like choking can lead to death.
And right as you say that, Red, who's wandered off, comes back with a little box, and he goes, "Did you say Epic Lotus?" And he's holding a little card game called Epic Lotus.
Sorry, no, I didn't say Epic Lotus. I said epiglottis. Epiglotti.
That is a really, really specific Okay, and Red walks off.
Anyway, I think the next thing that we should be doing is looking towards understanding this and finding a way to undo it.
Research.
Research.
I'm good at research. I feel like we are going to need some people to track down a life drinker, and we are going to need some people to do some serious alchemy. Probably even like learning even more about alchemy to do this. This is going to take some sort of next level alchemical shit, if you don't mind me saying so.
I am very good at alchemy. I've got 4 dots in alchemy.
This almost sounds like a 5 dot sort of scenario.
Okay.
We almost might need a team of alchemists.
Okay.
So Trunk comes in and he sort of just goes, "But what is a life drinker? I mean, if they lose their magic, then they're mortal, but they're still doing the same stuff, aren't they?"
Yeah, but then
are we just stopping them from drinking people? Like, what are we achieving?
Well, sort of my plan was to create some sort of solution and then kill them outright once they can no longer come back.
We
what
have
if
to
that doesn't
remember
work?
our roots here.
I mean, if it doesn't work, then we're just back to square one collecting heads. I feel like it would be worth taking, a month or two to plan and see if this is even feasible, because at the rate we're going, we're losing progress. And even if we kill every single one and put all of their heads in a box, eventually they will be let out. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I've sort of dedicated my life to this at this point. I don't want my legacy to be something that is just going to be undone after I'm gone.
You say to a table full of people who have also done that.
Yep.
Anyway, if we spend a month and there's no cure, then I guess we're back to square one. But
Yeah. Cure him?
Little time skip. A few days have passed. Now that you guys are here, and it seems to be a good spot to camp out temporarily at least, someone's going to go on a supply run. Who's it going to be? Like one of you guys? And who would you have brought with you?
I probably shouldn't do it. Well, it depends where are we going to get supplies?
Nearest hamlet, which is still really far.
Oh, pick me, because I've been working on my shape shifting. I say, watch this.
Okay.
And I roll a 3.
You go, I've been shape-shifting. Watch this. And you just kind of DreamWorks face. And then kind of just click your jaw where it needs to be and go back to normal.
Okay, I'm still need some work, I'll admit.
Yeah, Henny, if you want to go do a supply run, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can bring Bea with you.
I mean, I don't need your permission to bring my girlfriend with me, but I appreciate your vote of confidence.
No, I mean, you should bring Bea with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll bring Bea with me.
Right. And 2 other people for the sake of night watch, if needed.
2 other people? You want me to pick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Gunner and Sniper, because God, I love those names so much.
All right. So, Ken and Chelsea, do you want to take off your headphones till I give a visible thumbs up?
Perfect.
Shouldn't be
I have
long.
to go to the bathroom, so I'll be right back.
Have fun
Excellent.
pooping. Oh, Drake, your... Oh, he can't... Oh, it fell down. Oh,
Darn.
he can drag the little people down. Okay.
So you're gonna find this out right, like basically as the opener. Henny's been sitting on this information as you guys travel for like a day and a half back to the warehouse from town. You've picked up, like food, bullets, ammo, reagents, all the stuff you need to, and like recent news. And if you want to be the one to deliver this information, a mysterious human of some sort that you recognize as being a reborn Kree has purchased the Vulcan series of companies following the guy's death and is restarting resuming the project rather where it left off. And this is when I would thumb people up, but I think based on what I can see, it's just me and you now anyways. So.
Just me and you. Oh, this is sort of nice, quaint.
It's so pleasant. We never get to spend time together.
So how you doing?
Oh, I've been good,
Yeah. Oh, here comes Chelsea.
Okay.
Hello.
Chelsea, hello.
Are you back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now we're just waiting for Ken to come back.
Bum, ba-dum, ba.
I didn't even consider it. I'm just like, yeah.
Yep.
I'll be back now.
Back in. Oh, don't mind me. Just butt in.
Yeah. Gonna be here.
So, Chelsea as Vesta, it's the early afternoon. What would you be doing just sort of if you're caught unawares?
Early afternoon. I don't know, either like hanging out or, checking the traps, checking the wards, talking to people, just general things.
All right. Still killing time, waiting for Ken to return.
Wait, I always turn it the wrong direction. So what do you guys think of what's his name? Zane leaving One Direction. That's pretty
Wait, is that new news? Or is that like 2012 news?
I think that's like 2012 days, isn't it?
No, but he was like, it's like wild though, right? Because like that band was
Like I've heard no news, but my impression always was kind of that like there's 1 or 2 of them that still really want One Direction to be a thing, and then another couple of them that are like, it can die. And as far as I can tell, it's just Zane who's just like, no, this part of my life is over now, and I get to do other things with my life forever. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah. I mean, I think at least one or two of them are still making music.
Are any of them married?
I don't know.
Because I think that really hurts the boy band brand
To be married?
to be married.
That's what happened with the Beatles. Paul McCartney got married, and all the girls like cried.
Yeah. Wishing it could have been them.
Yeah.
Them with that sweet bull-headed man.
That sweet bull-headed man.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
He was the cute one.
Was he?
Yeah.
But they were all...
Well, like,
Yeah.
Cute.
No, I was going to say something horrible. I was going to say, but they were all British.
Ew. British people? Ew.
Man. Welcome back to Game Corner.
if you had to rate them, then which are the Beatles? Then what are the Beatles? Which are the hot Beatles? The
Ringo.
looking
Oh,
Beatles.
Ringo's got a great nose. Are you kidding me? Best
Ringo
nose.
is the hot one.
No, Ringo's the lucky one.
Yeah.
George is the... Oh, I just had it in my brain. Quiet. He's the quiet one. George is the quiet one. Paul is the cute one. Oh, shit. I don't remember.
And John Lennon's the actually one.
Oh, I was going to say John Lennon was... Yeah.
Yeah, he does actually kind of have actually energy.
Speaking of what we're actually getting up to this fine evening,
Okay.
so Reggie, it's the early afternoon. You're caught completely unawares. What would you be doing?
Caught completely unawares of what? What am I being unawares of?
Like, you're not being like taken by surprise. It's a surprise round rolled initiative. Just like it's the middle of the afternoon. What are you up to?
Okay. Yeah, Reggie's still tripping up over this. He's still trying to get in touch with this. He's really become sort of obsessive about this feeling.
All right, so you're pacing up and down the main drag, and Vesta's leaning near the sort of creaked open warehouse door. When you see Henny, Bea, Gunner, and Sniper coming back from their journeys. Henny, since you and Bea spent some time with these newfound adventurers, you've had a chance to sort of get in a scuff or two. Both of them are pretty good, well-coordinated fighters. Gunner very much is like an upfront, mainline kind of type. Sniper is a sniper. Generally, they're pretty quiet, unassuming types. That being said, you know the information that you have to break.
Oh, so friends, do you remember how a few days ago I was talking about how I don't want our legacy to be sort of tarnished and destroyed once we're gone?
No.
Vaguely.
Oh, you don't listen to anything I say, do you?
Could you repeat it?
That's not the important part. Kree, oh, he's back, and he has purchased Vulcan Industries, and they are continuing their big old highway right back to the north.
Oh, they're continuing it?
They are continuing
Just
it
right back where they were?
Yes. Which, is A, frustrating because we kind of killed them, and B, I don't know, I worry that maybe they are after, like, your home specifically in revenge or something. I don't know. Maybe they think it's a legitimately good business venture, but it seems like they're going out of their way to undo everything we did.
You guys do have the physical article there. If you have follow-up questions, you can read through it further.
But the original path wasn't going to Henny's or Vesta's home. It was going the opposite direction, wasn't it?
Wait, no, I was pretty sure it was going up north.
It was going up north, but it was going northwest, not northeast.
Looking through the article, it looks like they're basically going to spend some time to see what's salvageable, but the existing plan is to return to the exact previous location of the path, which was from past Last Hearth through to the northern shores way up north. Place that Vesta's from is a small mountain town, way miles from there.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I'm an idiot. I misunderstood greatly.
Well, I guess that is how it be.
I mean,
You guys seem a lot less concerned than I was. I was really angry.
Yeah?
Well, yeah, we it feels like everything we've done has come crumbling apart.
It has.
That doesn't bother you?
No. You move on with your life, you know? Here we are, today.
but what if there is actually some meaning behind this? What if they wanted to do that for some other reason?
What do you mean,
Like,
Reggie?
I don't even know. Like, what if they need the elementalist mages for something else? What if all of that is just a guise for something else?
So, as you guys are leafing like through this stuff, and you get back into the warehouse, some of your allies are picking up the newspaper to look themselves, and Corvo just sort of stops dead, like 3 pages in, and then he flips to the back where there's like the broadsheets and stock sheets and stuff, and then he slams that loudly down on the table, and he makes a motion, like to get attention, not necessarily to go, everybody come here, but just to get attention, and he points to you guys and he goes, come here. And you see him like leafing through pages and pages, and eventually he taps and he's got something.
What is it?
Corvo, what is it? I will translate.
So you look, and there's not a lot of translating to do. It's really just like point, point, point. In the article, it mentions there's a new name for Kree, as expected. It's Technomagic Solutions is the new company. The board of directors includes Laszlo Roos, it looks like. And the company used to be consulted by Chickadee Strategy, which was Kree's old company. Likewise, they're getting resources from... It's a company that you don't recognize, but Corvo points out it's the company that one of the companies that Boru owns that creates like magitechnical engineering things.
Okay, so they're all sort of banding together on this front. Maybe there's something there. Maybe. It always struck me as weird that why build a huge expensive road up to the north like that? And now that the other life drinkers, from what I've seen, they tend to operate more or less individually. You know, you will have a pair that will act as king of this system and an emperor over here, and then they will work together. But it's strange that one would pick up the loose ends of another like that.
As you're talking, Corvo gets Red to come and take out some maps, and then Corvo lays down basically like a population map of the world, and he lays down known life drinker locations, and you can see there's a lot of areas where they're more dense, like in the mainland there's tons, and there's some in the Freedlands, there's some in Void Bay, there's some out in the islands, but it's just hollow in the far northern shore. And you look, and according to the population maps, there's all kinds of people there.
Don't like the far north?
No, I think
They don't have influence there?
Yeah, I think the far north is the one place where they don't have influence.
What if there's a reason for that? What if the far north had something to do with it?
Too cold?
Temperature would be a big... I mean, temperature, that's what you think of when you think of north.
Well, even still, It's cold, it's secluded. Maybe there's knowledge there that we don't have.
I mean, it's possible to get up there. It's not necessarily a political hotspot. Like,
Yes, but
At this point, Elmira's nearby, and she goes, I think you guys are thinking way too academically about this, too. And she's looking for the word and goes, you're thinking with the wrong motivations.
you're thinking they just want to go in and take over.
I mean, what does take over even mean? They're life drinkers. There's no life drinkers there. Plenty of people. They just want the herd.
but why do they need to build a massive bridge to do it? For their own convenience when they want to come back?
Yeah, it seems to me like they could have gone up at any time. They have almost unlimited resources, and it's not impassable. It's just requires some mages, which they could have easily gotten a hold of.
Doesn't
At
even
this
require
point-
some mages. To just have to do it at the right time.
Blue's looking through stuff and he goes, well, in spite of the distance, it looks... Well, no, an individual expedition might work, but no, all their herds seem to be tied with some sort of... And Blue grabs the book and goes, I'm going to consult this a moment, see if there's some sort of through line. Puts down the
Okay.
book and just starts flipping through. As you guys are sitting there just sort of staring at the maps, pondering, a bunch of your other allies are quietly just sort of encircling this ramshackle table you've put together with maps. You all kind of sit there, you look at places where pins have been set down, you look at newspaper clippings and articles, things are being passed around behind you. Any ideas?
I mean, the simplest answer is that they just, they want life to drink. But there's something else to it because... shit, this is a good word.
What do you
I was trying to... Never mind. I was going to make like a board with like the string, but the tape wasn't working. Anyway, no, but... I feel like there's got to be a reason why they haven't yet. Just because... like they're everywhere else. There are other areas that are difficult to get into. Like, what about the area like Celestia? And are there life drinkers there?
Well, we definitely have proof of them working with Alistair. The entire Red Coat Mining Company was working with them.
Right. So they've managed to infiltrate places that already have a pretty fascist setup with a pretty powerful leader. There are. Have they made it over to the Freedlands?
There's a few.
So they made it over to the Freedlands, an area that's just starting. Its political climate isn't exactly aged. Like, I don't think it's as simple as they want to go up north, and they don't want to bother with hiring mages to get up there.
At that point, Reggie just kind of slams his hand down on the table and goes, "It's an army. It has to be. It's the only logistical reason that I can think of for building the walkway. That is not for trade. There is not enough trade. You said that yourself. There is not enough trade with that north. It is for the logistics of getting an army to the north."
But why would
when you say there's not a lot of trade, Bea's eyes go wide and goes, "There's not a lot of trade because it's impossible to get there. This is just a highway. This is just a highway." And Bea starts pacing her head in her hands.
If it was just a highway, why would they go through all this trouble to start it up after one of them got decapitated? It just, I from what I know of Kree, he doesn't seem like the charitable type. Like, I don't think he's doing this in his friend's memory.
Everybody kind of sits there, they furrow their brows, they lean in. Trunk speaks up and goes, "Well, good point. What do they do? What do they want?"
I mean, if they were to have a monopoly on trade there, that would put them right into the position they want to be with political power in the area.
Now there's
And I
people there.
suppose, I mean, the culture up north, it doesn't really have a lot of like localized governments, right? Like you couldn't just declare yourself emperor of the whole area, but if you have trade,
Corvo gestures at the map where there's dots for life drinkers all over the place except for the far northern shore and goes, "They're already everywhere."
Like, does the North have laws against slavery and slave trade itself?
you don't think they'd be trying to export people?
I think they would be trying to import people. It's just free drinks.
When you say free drinks, Elbjorn perks up his head, as does Blue. And Blue goes, and he points and he goes, "Yes, that's the commonality." And he puts down the book and he goes, "They've always got some sort of... this is the wrong voice. Blue is an old man, and not Absolution. Blue goes, they must have some sort of scheme, some sort of plot, but it's about... And Elbjorn just walks up and goes, "No, I think we're overthinking this. It's untapped territory."
Well, that modifies the plan just a little bit. Do we then make it our mission to prevent them from getting that territory? Do we try and warn the people of that territory?
I'm going to give you guys a moment to think.
What if we took advantage? If they're just funneling themselves through this pipeline, what if we were waiting at the other end with a knife?
Well, that seems like an obvious trap. And a great way to get kicked out of a city.
Sure, but...
Like, all I'm saying, if we start setting up ambush routes along the path, that's really not going to go over well.
Maybe. But it does put them at at one position that we know they're going to be guaranteed. And it sort of puts the ball in our court a little bit, eh? If we just... it wouldn't be enough, though. We'd never be able to get enough before we got caught.
I don't think we should worry about it. Honestly, I think we should just let them build their highway, And
we're just going to give them another place to hide?
They already have everywhere.
Exactly. They have everywhere. They don't have here. This can be the one spot that they do not have.
As much as that is appealing, I think that... I don't know. Reginald, I don't want to question your judgment, but I don't know if that is if that's coming from a strategic place or like an emotional place.
It's coming from both.
I don't know. I think it's more worth it for us to try to find a way to circumvent their immortality.
I agree, but I'm wondering if we could use this. I'm wondering if we could use this to our advantage in distributing our concoction. If they're coming up here, can we use that, set up some sort of... Because, the idea would be to set up some sort of anti-life drinking force field halfway through, and then they walk through it, and suddenly no more life drinking powers, and then they don't realize that, and then, we impersonate one of them and invite everybody up there, And just one by one they go through and no more life drinking powers. That's sort of, when I close my eyes at night, that's what I see before I fall asleep. Funneling them like cattle through a demagicalizer. I don't think that's a feasible strategy, but...
So what have you guys got so far?
I think that the plan changes very little. I think we still need to do some research and figure out if there is a way to stop them. And if there is...
I think we should continue on with our original plan of finding a cure.
And if there is a cure, I think we can use this information to our advantage.
Yeah, I think we should ignore the highway. That's my vote.
Well, in that case, next week we're going to come back. Well, next week or maybe the week after that, I don't know. We're going to come back with some more content as our heroes here try to figure out what to do about the life drinkers. And we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, it seems like there's a lot of hands in the air, a lot of furrowed brows and frustration staring at the maps and boards and the red yarn going from article to article. Our heroes are overwhelmed, but at the very least, they have the time and space to think. If you guys want to see what they come up with, tune in at twitch.tv/Mr. Croton at the later half of 7 when we usually run these things on Thursdays. You guys can check them out at youtube.com/Mr. Croton, or you can go to bloodwine.fandom.com for the rules to this game. When we're back, things will start to accelerate again. Anything you want to plug, Ian?
Gonna be continuing the Lego Harry Potter thing that I started, last week. It's a fun game. I love Lego Harry Potter, but I'm gonna be moving it to the Saturday stream, just for like a chill Saturday. You know what? I might not even do that. I might do an editing stream on Saturday. Yeah.
So stuff is going down.
Stuff is going down
to
on
Saturdays.
It's something Saturday, so we'll see what I come up with.
Well, tune in Saturday for something.
Yep, tune in Saturday for something. And
Tune in Saturday for something.
Thank you for repeating that, Gabe.
Oh, I just didn't want to be left out. Chelsea?
I'm good.
Okay.
Chelsea?
One of us. One of us.
Peer pressure. Peer pressure.
I'm good. I'm gonna be the odd one out.
Oh wow, jeez, so strong, so strong.
And that's the way it is. See you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.
Peace out.